When we were filling out our college applications for the Gaokao, we promised each other that we'd both apply to Peking University, but I had no choice but to deliberately score a 0 on the Chinese section of the exam. In the end, I only got 600 points and missed my chance at Peking University, while he went straight abroad to study. In fact, he doesn't know that I ultimately didn't even go to college. I was forced to drop out and became a food delivery worker. That night, exhausted, I was on my way to deliver my last order when I was unexpectedly knocked to the ground by a Range Rover. Right after, a woman in red high heels came over and squatted down beside me.
Are you okay? I didn't mean to do it.
As she spoke, the woman opened her Gucci handbag and took out a wad of cash, probably 2,000 or 3,000 yuan.
Take this money and go to a nearby hospital to check if you're hurt. I have something very urgent to take care of right now.
After saying this, she stuffed the money into my hand and got up to leave, but immediately squatted down again, took a pen out of her bag, quickly wrote a phone number on a Yida sticky note, and then handed me both her ID card and the note, saying to me,
"If anything happens, call me. I'm Li Xia."
When I lowered my head to look at her ID card, she had already gotten up and left. The whole thing probably took less than a minute, and we didn't even really talk to each other. The white Range Rover drove away, and I struggled to get up from the ground. After everything was over, I pushed my electric scooter home alone, holding the female Range Rover driver's ID card in my hand. By this time, it was already midnight. After a brief hesitation, I still picked up the phone and dialed her number. The first call went unanswered. A minute later, I called again, but this time it was directly rejected. I felt a bit unwilling to give up. I called a third time, and this time the call finally went through. On the other end, I heard her voice, sounding very impatient.
"Who's this? Speak up."
I replied politely, "You just hit me with your car."
"I'm sorry."
Her attitude instantly shifted. She kept apologizing, saying,
"My bad, I'm really sorry. Which hospital are you in? Seen a doctor yet? What did they say?"
Her tone made me feel much better. I calmly said, "I'm fine, but the shell of my electric bike is a bit cracked."
You okay? How much for the bike? I'll pay.
The money you gave me is enough to repair the electric bike. I still have your ID card here. When would it be convenient for you to pick it up?
Now is fine.
He asked in a slightly tentative tone.
I'm busy, so can a friend pick it up for me?
Then I gave him my address. After hanging up the phone, I sat on the wooden bench and applied Yunnan Baiyao to myself. About half an hour later, I heard someone knocking on the door. When I opened it, I saw 4 men outside. The one in front was about my age, and the 3 behind him were quite burly. The man in front looked at me and asked,
"Did you make the call? Was it you?
Before I spoke, he snapped, "Do you have Li Xia's ID?"
Is Li Xia's ID card with you? It's behind me."
Before I could even get a word out, the man punched me in the face, then immediately kicked me in the stomach. I hadn't even figured out what was happening before I was knocked to the ground. As I tried to get up, his foot came at me again, and instantly I tasted blood in my mouth. My roommate Liu Chang, who often drinks and chats with friends next door, opened his bedroom door to take a look, then quickly shut it again. The man came over, pressed his leather shoe down on my arm, and coldly asked,
"Where's ID?"
I really wanted to speak, but half my face felt numb, and I couldn't get a word out. The man turned his head and said to the 3 people behind him,
"Find the ID card and note on the bedroom desk."
The people who went in quickly found them and handed them to the man. He glanced at the ID card, looked very satisfied, and put it in his pocket. The foot pressing down on my arm bore down even harder, and he coldly said,
"You blind fool, trying to scam people, and you actually ran into him. Let me make this clear today. If you dare bother that woman again, I will kill you."
After saying that, he gave me another vicious kick and turned to leave. Before he even reached the door, it was as if he suddenly remembered something. He turned around and walked into my bedroom, took my phone, and smashed it hard on the ground right in front of me. Only after making sure the phone was completely destroyed did he swagger out. After they left, I sat alone on the edge of the bed, a 7 yuan Hongtashan cigarette, trailing white smoke between my fingers. I couldn't understand why this world is always so full of injustice. I was even more puzzled as to why everyone wears such a convincing mask. Why did he leave an ID card behind and then arrange for a few people to come and beat me up? I have to get to the bottom of what he really wants. The rain outside the window kept pouring down, as if it would never stop all night. When the sun rises tomorrow. Now, this city has one more drifting soul. Me. The first ray of morning sunlight slanted through the window into the room. I had already packed all my belongings into the suitcase. Today, I would be moving out of this rented room. Because of what happened last night with that group, the landlord thought I'd gotten involved with some shady people and decided not to rent the room to me anymore. My suitcase was loaded onto my battered electric scooter. All I had left was the 2,600 yuan that woman had thrown to me in the rain yesterday. When I got paid last month, I sent all the money home for my father's medical treatment, keeping only a little for living expenses. This 2,600 yuan. I spent 800 yuan on a phone for delivery work. The job had to continue. The rest was for rent. Without a room by nightfall, I'd be under the overpass. I put the SIM card into the new phone, and immediately my second uncle called. "Chen Fan, what are you up to?" My uncle, Chen Shaoji, is a character. Grandpa found him as a stray. He's 6 years my senior. He's done plenty of shady things and is simply notorious. I squatted on the curb and answered,
"I'm not doing anything right now. What made you think of calling me? Is something up?" "I'm in Kunming to help your dad buy medicine. I heard there's an old Chinese medicine doctor here who's especially skilled at treating kidney disease. As soon as I got the doctor's contact information, I rushed over. I'll crash at your place tonight, and tomorrow morning, I'll take the train."
When I heard what my second uncle said, I got nervous right away. If he found out that I don't even have a place to stay, what would he think? If he went back and told my parents, they'd just worry even more. Plus, with the bruises on my face, knowing my second uncle's personality, he'd definitely dig into the whole story. That would be a huge problem. I stammered and said,
Uncle, please don't come looking for me. Just apply the medicine and head home early. My work is really busy.
but he insisted, saying,
Your mom even sent you a basket of farm eggs. She said you have to take them no matter what. That's it for now. I'll call you when I arrive.
After finishing the call, my second uncle hung up right away. Finding a random place to rent and move into isn't very realistic, but with only 2 hours left, my uncle would be here soon. This was a big problem. After a brief hesitation, I decided to first look for a small inn near the train station to settle my uncle there, so he would give up the idea of coming to stay at my place, as long as I could get my uncle settled. I didn't really care about where I stayed myself. I could just make do. 2 hours later, I picked up my second uncle at the train station. He looked just like before, wearing a knockoff Nike t-shirt that showed off his muscles, and now he had another tattoo on his arm. The moment we met, he froze for a second and then asked with concern,
What happened? Were you in a fight?
I lied and said,
I just fell by accident.
but my second uncle doubted me.
Are you trying to fool your second uncle like you do your parents? Who could hurt themselves this badly just by falling? What, you got beaten up and don't even dare to say it?
I knew my second uncle was a seasoned veteran. It was pretty hard to fool him. But I didn't want to talk about it with him either, so I just brushed it off and said,
Let's go. I'll get you settled first, then later I'll help you pick up the Chinese medicine.
My second uncle didn't say a word and walked beside me. In the small hotel I had booked in advance, I said to him,
You'll stay here tonight. After we get the medicine this afternoon, I'll go to work. Please don't tell my parents about me getting beaten up.
They don't worry, but my second uncle kept pushing.
What exactly happened? Who beat you up like this, Chen Fan? Are you hiding something from the family? First, tell me who hit you and why they did it.
I muttered in frustration. I don't even know why they beat me up. Then I recounted what happened last night. In the end, I reminded my second uncle again. Please, don't tell my parents about this, or they'll just worry. Also, I still have a few hundred yuan here. Take it back to my dad when you go home. Chen Xiaoji stood silently to the side for a few minutes.
He said to me, All right, I won't tell your
Parents about this. My uncle gave me another 2,000 yuan.
Handing it over, he said, Don't give your parents money. I'll give you more. Find a nicer apartment to rent and look after yourself. Uncle, please don't, I protested.
But my second uncle ordered firmly, take it.
Just take it and stop arguing. This afternoon, I'll go get some Chinese medicine for your dad. You go look for a place to stay and get your living situation sorted out first. We'll have dinner together tonight, and tomorrow morning I'll take the train back.
I took a deep breath. I could really feel how much my second uncle cared about me. I didn't want him to worry too much, so I agreed to his suggestion.
I'll find a place to stay, and Uncle, you get the medicine.
My dad's had kidney disease for years, and treatment drained our savings. Grandpa left us tens of thousands when he died, but my second uncle gave it all to Dad. Though my second uncle messes around, his character is solid. That afternoon, I found a shared 3-bedroom apartment for 700 yuan a month. The living room, kitchen and bath were shared with a couple and a girl. It seemed acceptable, so I rented it. By the time I finished all these things, it was already past 4 in the afternoon. My second uncle sent me a message, telling me he was waiting for me at a small hotel near the train station, so we could have dinner together that evening. He had to catch an early train home the next morning. Just as I was about to leave, I ran into the single girl I was sharing the apartment with. She had just gotten off work and was dressed in professional attire, a short blazer that made her look especially elegant. When she bent down to change her shoes, I caught a glimpse of her cleavage through her collar. I swear it wasn't intentional, but I have to admit that she was very attractive, so much so that it was hard to look away after that first glance. As a result, after changing her shoes, I was still staring at her chest. She glared and disgustedly muttered that I was a pervert. She clutched her collar and walked toward the second bedroom. That evening, after dinner with my uncle, I avoided the Paris Spring apartment and booked a small hotel room. The next morning, after seeing him off, I started delivering food again. I needed the income, and delivery was my only option. I worked until 11:30. The last order surprisingly came from my roommate, Lin Yifei. Carrying the food home, I noticed the couple in the master bedroom were out. Their door was shut and lights off. However, the second bedroom light was on. The sound of someone typing on a keyboard came from inside. I took off my jacket, tossed it into my bedroom, and carried the food to his door, knocking lightly. He opened the door wearing loungewear. When he saw it was me, his expression immediately turned sour. Instinctively, he covered his collar with his left hand and asked in a particularly disgusted tone, "What do you want?" I lifted the food in my hand and said, "Your delivery." Lin Yifei got angry. He demanded, "Who told you to touch my food delivery?" Before I could finish my sentence, he snatched the food from my hand and in the next moment, threw it straight into the trash can by the door. Because there was a bowl of soup in the delivery, when he grabbed it, the soup spilled onto my jeans. It was very hot, but he completely ignored me, took a step back, and slammed the door shut. I stood at the door, a bit at a loss, shook my head helplessly, and went back to my own bedroom. On my phone, I received feedback on the order, a negative review. The reason was, why did you deliver my food to someone else? How can you be so irresponsible? Looking at the screen, I felt it was absurd. One bad review deducts 300 yuan from my salary. After getting up early and working late, my entire day's earnings might not even reach 300 yuan. I was exhausted like a dog today, and just this one bad review sent me right back to square one. On Wednesday, I got a call from my second uncle. Thinking it was family news, I pulled over my scooter and asked,
What's up, second uncle? I'm delivering food right now. Can you call me back later? I'm waiting for you at the intersection of Wanghua Road and Renmin Road. After you finish this delivery, don't take any more orders. Come over here first.
I thought I heard wrong.
Where are you? The little garden, the place you told me about the car accident. Come over here and tell me exactly where you were hit by the Land Rover.
I had a feeling that Chen Xiaoji was up to something.
Didn't you go home? Why are you back in Kunming again? I'll help you get this factory back. It's fine if you don't come over. At most, I'll just check a few more surveillance camera recordings.
I was completely speechless. I know exactly what kind of person my second uncle, Chen Xiaoji, is. After finishing my deliveries, I rushed over. Sure enough, by the little garden, I saw him. He was squatting by the roadside, eyes fixed on the surveillance cameras. I had no idea what he was thinking. When he saw me, he asked,
"Where exactly were you hit?"
I corrected my uncle, saying,
"It wasn't that I was hit. When the Range Rover was turning, I ran into him. He didn't."
"Damn."
Know that turning vehicles have to yield to those going straight? Just tell me which direction it happened in.
I pointed across the street and said to Chen Xiaoji,
"Right over there." Second uncle, let's just drop this. We're not familiar with Kunming, and the less trouble, the better.
But he said this.
I know what to do. Once I check the Range Rover's license plate, I'll be able to find the person who hit you. You go ahead and take care of your own business.
Chen Xiaoji left. I called, "Second uncle."
Uncle, I live at Paris Spring. Do you want to come stay over tonight?
Chen Xiaoji tossed back 2 words.
Don't worry about me.
I watched Chen Xiaoji's figure disappear into the crowd, and my heart started to feel uneasy. That group was clearly no good. They were driving a Range Rover and carrying Gucci bags worth over 10,000. Chen Xiaoji is a stranger in Kunming, and he's just rushing into an investigation like this. Isn't he just asking for trouble? But I also knew there was no way I could talk him out of it. Other than worrying helplessly, I really didn't know what else I could do. 3 nights later, Chen Xiaoji called me again and told me to get to Century City Car Cube within half an hour. He was waiting for me in the open-air parking lot outside Car Cube. When I arrived at the parking lot and found Chen Xiaoji, he was squatting in an inconspicuous corner by the flower bed. Diagonally across from him was that same white Range Rover from the other night, the scratch on its side still there. I was really amazed by Chen Xiaoji's abilities, and I was puzzled as to how he managed to find it. Feeling a bit worried, I tried to persuade my second uncle, saying,
"Uncle, let it go. Don't make a scene."
He replied emotionlessly,
"No, we have to get this place back tonight.
I looked around. Despite being past 8, it was bustling. We couldn't settle things here.
Let's have a smoke."
Chen Xiaoji gave me some cigarettes. Ruan Zhonghua's brand. Pointing to a nearby Santana, he noted,
"Just sit in the car and wait for them to come. Whose car it is doesn't matter. Just get in with me."
Inside I felt nervous. This old Santana was a wreck. Next to the driver sat a bandaged steel pipe. Tonight's weapon. I couldn't stay calm. I hated the bullies, but the thought of actually fighting? But I was a bit nervous, a bit scared. I tried to persuade second uncle not to stir up trouble for no reason, but he completely ignored me. I was basically talking to myself. Around 9:15, the main characters showed up. The man who beat me that night and Li Xia, who had gotten close to me in the car, both appeared. The two of them walked side by side to the Range Rover. The man headed for the driver's seat and opened the door. Chen Xiaoji asked coldly,
"These two? Forget it."
but Chen Xiaoji seemed a bit impatient.
He snapped, "Stop wasting time. Just say yes or no."
I took a deep breath and quietly said, yes. Chen Xiaoji didn't say a word. His eyes fixed intently on the Land Rover. The Range Rover started up and slowly pulled out of the parking spot. Chen Xiaoji also started the Santana, following right behind the Land Rover as it drove out. I was extremely nervous the whole way because I knew all too well what Chen Xiaoji was capable of. The Land Rover drove ahead, making several turns, exited the second ring road, and entered a rather secluded side road. Chen Xiaoji seized the opportunity, overtook the Land Rover, then quickly turned the wheel, cutting off the Land Rover in one swift move. He immediately slammed on the brakes, positioning the car diagonally to block the white Land Rover. I have to admit, the Land Rover's braking system is excellent. If it had been any other car, it probably would have crashed already. After stopping, Chen Xiaoji wasn't in a hurry to get out. The Land Rover's driver, the same man who beat me up that day, had already gotten out of his car. With an angry look on his face, he walked over to the driver's side of the Santana, lifted his foot, and kicked the car door, cursing loudly. What the hell is wrong with your driving? Can you even drive or not? Chen Xiaoji gripped the steel pipe he had prepared in advance with his right hand, unlocked the Santana's door with his left, and forcefully pushed the door open. The man standing outside the car door was hit squarely and stumbled back several steps. Chen Xiaoji got out of the car holding the steel pipe, didn't waste a single word, and swung the pipe at the man's head. Instinctively, the man raised his left arm to block, but Chen Xiaoji had already kicked him. The man staggered back 2 steps, tripped over the curb, and was completely intimidated by Chen Xiaoji's presence. Lying on the ground and looking up, his face turned pale. He didn't dare finish a single sentence, and all his previous arrogance had vanished. Li Xia got out from the passenger seat and hurried over to the man's side. She squatted down and asked with concern,
Are you okay? Any injuries?
After asking these 2 questions, he looked up at second uncle and asked.
Why did you hit me?
Second uncle told me.
Chen Fan, come here. What do you want to do with him?
Trembling, I walked over to second uncle and whispered, Second uncle, let it go. We've already hit him. Let's just leave.
Who?
Li Xia didn't recognize me, and thinking about it, that's not surprising. That day she left in a hurry, and I was still wearing my delivery uniform, riding an electric bike, and wearing a helmet. It's perfectly normal that she doesn't remember me. But at this moment, he was staring intently at me and Chen Xiaoji, asking in utter fear, What do you want to do? Chen Xiaoji ignored Li Xia. She gripped the steel pipe in her right hand and slowly squatted down, pressing the lower end of the pipe against the man's thigh. I could tell he was using force. The man's face was already starting to contort in pain, but he was pretty tough and kept silent, not making a sound. Seeing the twisted look on his face, Chen Xiaoji couldn't help but feel a bit smug, and said to the man, You beat up Chen Fan and smashed his phone. I'll give you a discount. 5,000 yuan. Transfer it over right now, and we'll call it even. Chen Xiaoji sneered twice. If you don't transfer it, don't even think about leaving here in one piece today. I think Li Xia probably knew what kind of person this man usually was, and combined with the ruthless aura from my second uncle, it scared him. He opened the bag slung over his shoulder and pleaded, "Please don't hurt him, I'll give it to you." As he spoke, he took out cash from his bag and stuffed it into my second uncle's hands without even counting it. I had no idea how much money it was. "I've given you everything." Chen Xiaoji glanced at it and said, "That's about right. For now, we'll let this go. But don't think you can bully people just because you have money. Remember this, if you're not convinced, come find me again. My phone number is easy to remember, 1356677 ****. If you're not satisfied, call me anytime." After saying this, Chen Xiaoji put away the steel pipe in his hand and said to me, "Chen Fan, let's go. If he dares to bully you again, I'll cripple him." I was a bit taken aback by how fierce he was. This is how Chen Xiaoji handles things. As we were leaving, I couldn't help but glance at Li Xia a few more times. She was truly beautiful. Her features were so delicate that words couldn't describe them. When I was looking at her, she was also looking at me. That brief moment of eye contact made me feel a bit embarrassed, so I quickly looked away and got into the car. Chen Xiaoji could tell I was a little worried and asked in a tone of disappointment, "Are you scared? Chickening out? Everyone has two shoulders and one head. What are you afraid of them for? If they mess with you, just fight back." To be honest, I was getting a bit fed up with life in Kunming. All these years, I've always played the role of an outsider, a small town guy, unwilling to argue with people, and even less willing to get into fights. I always thought it was better to avoid trouble whenever possible. Just work hard, make money, and send it home, hoping to save enough for my father's kidney transplant. Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, Chen Xiaoji tried to comfort me, saying, "All right, stop looking so down. It's not a big deal at all. If he dares to mess with you, I'll deal with him until he gives in. You can get off at the intersection up ahead. Here, take this money and spend it wisely." He added, "I'll be in Kunming for a while. If anything comes up, just call me." Without caring whether I wanted the money or not, he shoved it all into my hands. I knew my dad's medical treatment would cost a lot, so I didn't stand on ceremony with him and took all the money, which was over 6,000 yuan. I asked, "Aren't you going home? What are you doing in Kunming?" He replied, "Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's not food delivery. Remember, if he dares to mess with you again, just deal with him. Don't be a coward." My second uncle and I have always had very different views on survival. After getting off at the intersection, I wandered alone through the city's midnight streets, carrying several thousand yuan in cash in my pocket. The money had come so easily that it made me feel a bit uneasy. I even thought about contacting Li Xia, returning the money to her, and explaining everything clearly. This was just a misunderstanding. I admit I had this idea because I'm just an ordinary struggling person who can't handle too much trouble. There was another motive too. I fantasized about getting to know Li Xia, or at least making sure she didn't have a bad impression of me. Suddenly, I realized how frightening this thought was. How could I hope for the attention of a goddess? And yet I was deluding myself about getting to know the beautiful Li Xia. I couldn't help but laugh at myself. The next day, I indulged myself by sleeping in, waking up naturally, and then clicked start taking orders on the app. The first order was a big one, 40 boxed lunches to be delivered to the KT International Hotel. The security guard told me to take that elevator straight up to the conference room on the 29th floor. The first time, I only brought up 20 boxed lunches. Inside the conference room, there was only the girl who had placed the order. She told me to just put the lunches on the table, so I did, and then went downstairs to get the rest. When I came back up and carried the remaining lunches into the conference room, I was stunned by what I saw. Li Xia was among the crowd. The moment our eyes met, I could hardly believe it. But there she was, looking right at me in that conference room. A man opened a boxed lunch and handed it to her, respectfully saying, "President Li, thank you for your hard work during the meeting. Please eat first." My scalp tingled. Yesterday we beat up her boyfriend, and now I was delivering food on her turf. I was in the lion's den. After dropping the food, I rushed to the elevator. But when the doors opened, I was stunned. 4 security guards were outside. I tried to stay calm and lowered my head, but 2 guards immediately blocked my way and told me to go with them. I feigned ignorance and told them, "You've got the wrong person." "Cut the crap," one of the leaders said directly to the other 3. "Take him away first," I shouted. "On what grounds? You're just security guards. You have no right to restrict my personal freedom." As soon as I yelled, a lot of people in the hotel lobby looked over. The hotel lobby manager, however, was quick to adapt, smiling as he explained to the onlookers, "Sorry to disturb everyone. A hotel guest just reported a valuable item missing and suspects that the delivery guy took the opportunity to steal it. We have already detained the suspect and will be taking him to the police station shortly. We sincerely apologize." Is this delivery guy a thief? The quality of these delivery people is just terrible nowadays. Who would dare order delivery again? I shouted at the top of my lungs, my face twisted in anger. I'm being wronged. But no one believed me, and no one paid any attention to my cries. All I saw were cold faces, holding up their phones to take pictures. The 4 security guards didn't do as the lobby manager said, and take me to the police station. Instead, they just put me under house arrest in a room, took away my phone, and trapped me in a chair. I kept yelling, "Let me go, this is illegal detention." "This is illegal," the fat security guard threatened me, saying, "I don't know what illegal detention means. I just do whatever the boss tells me to do. If you dare make noise and bother me again, I'll stuff these socks I haven't washed in a week into your mouth." He won. That threat was really powerful. So powerful that I didn't dare say another word, because I truly believed he would do it. I waited anxiously, not knowing what would happen next, or who I would have to face. Not long after, 2 of the security guards actually lay down on the bed and fell asleep. I tried to escape, but my hands and feet were tied to the chair, so all my efforts were completely in vain. Maybe 3 hours passed. The door that had been closed was opened. Hearing the sound of the door, the 2 security guards quickly scrambled up from the bed. Li Xia entered the room with 5 people. Among them, the girl who had ordered food today was right behind her, followed by the lobby manager, and the last 2 were also security guards. When Li Xia came in, the 2 security guards who had been sleeping quickly stood up and respectfully greeted her. "Hello, President Li?" Li Xia frowned and asked, "Why did you tie her up? It wasn't you, was it?" The lobby manager glared at the fat security guard and immediately said sternly, "Who told you to tie her up? Hurry up and let her go." After untying her, Li Xia said to the people around her, "You all go out first. Without my order, no one is allowed to come in." Seeing how firm Li Xia's tone was, the others didn't dare say anything more and left the room one by one, looking dejected. Li Xia looked at me coldly and asked, "What grudge do you have with Jia Hao? Why did you go so hard on him yesterday?" "So her name is Jia Hao. Now I finally know what that guy is called. Is it necessary for you to play dumb? Don't you know why you hit her?" Li Xia spoke in a tone that seemed to see right through people like us. "You guys fight all day long. Do you find that fun? Is there anything that can't be discussed calmly? Do you really think this will solve the problem?" So it turns out Li Xia thinks I'm just some thug. I looked at Li Xia and asked, "Will you listen to my explanation?" "I don't have time." Li Xia didn't give me any face at all and said to me, "The reason I kept you here is just to tell you one thing. From now on, don't go looking for Jia Hao in the middle of the night. If you want money, just tell me directly. Don't make things hard for him." I was immediately unhappy. Looking at Li Xia, I asked, "You had people tie me up here for 3 or 4 hours, making me waste an entire afternoon of work, just to tell me this?" Li Xia shot back, "Or what? What do you think I could possibly say to you now?" My anger flared up instantly. "Since you have something to say to me, I have something to tell you too. The first lunchbox I delivered at noon, did you eat it? Let me tell you, I had already eaten several bites from that lunchbox. What you ate was my leftovers and I even spat in it." Li Xia's eyes suddenly widened, and the next second she covered her mouth and ran to the restroom. That was so satisfying. I picked up my phone and swaggered out of the room. Outside the door, the lobby manager and several security guards were all there. They were looking at me a bit strangely, but I just swaggered off like that, feeling more and more satisfied the more I thought about it. As I walked out of the hotel lobby, it was just about dinner time. I planned to keep taking orders and delivering food, but then I discovered my account had been suspended. I contacted customer service to ask what was going on, and they said I might be involved in a theft case, so my delivery rider qualification was temporarily revoked. In other words, I just got fired. Who the hell did I offend? Is it easy for me to just deliver food? I really don't know how I ended up at odds with them. I glared resentfully at the Katy International Hotel and spat on the ground hard. At that moment, a group of security guards suddenly rushed out of the hotel, shouting, "Catch him! Don't let him get away!" Seriously? They want to catch me just for spitting? I took off running, but ended up getting kicked to the ground by a security guard at the gate. The others rushed over and pinned me down. This time, instead of dragging me back into the hotel, they shoved me into a Buick G18 minivan. After that, Li Xia sat in the left seat of the second row, while I, with my hands and feet tied, was placed in the right seat. Worried I might cause trouble, they wrapped the rope around me twice. 2 security guards sat in the third row, and there was another one in the front. I immediately started to feel a bit nervous. I turned my head to look at Li Xia beside me and said, "What do you want? I just ate a couple bites of your food. You're not planning to kill me to keep me quiet, are you?" "Shut up." Li Xia glared at me with obvious disgust. "If you mention lunch one more time, I'll have them throw you out of the car right now. But you have to tell me, where exactly are you taking me? You've already messed up my life enough. I even lost my job because of you." Li Xia replied coldly, "I couldn't care less about your job, but if Jia Hao gets hurt, I'll make sure you end up in court." "Wait, who exactly is Jia Hao to you? And what does whatever happens to him have to do with me?" "Li Jia Hao is my younger brother. I don't want him to get hurt." "Your brother, huh?" Hearing Li Xia say this, I actually felt a little excited. What does whether your brother gets hurt or not have to do with me? Your friend kidnapped my brother, and now I'm taking you to exchange for him. I looked at Li Xia and asked, "How come I don't know I have such a friend?" "It's Chen Xiaoji from last night." Oh my god, what exactly did he do? I felt like my head was about to explode. Didn't we agree yesterday that this matter was over? Why did he go after Li Jia Hao again? Does he think Li Jia Hao is rich and easy to bully? I really couldn't figure out why my uncle would do something like this, and I didn't dare ask any more questions. The rest of the way, we were both pretty quiet. We drove from downtown all the way to the outskirts of the East Third Ring, and finally arrived at a rundown warehouse. Between 2 cars, there was a table set up between the 2 cars, with a few cans and some braised dishes on top, and over a dozen empty beer bottles tossed around the edge. Chen Xiaoji sat alone on one side of the square table, while Li Jia Hao and several others sat on the other 3 sides. These people looked pretty miserable. Each one had a bruised and swollen face, and even Li Jia Hao was no exception. Seeing this scene, Li Xia couldn't take it anymore. She got out of the car and ran straight to Li Jia Hao. "Jia Hao, how did you get beaten up like this? Who did this to you?" As she asked, her gaze fell on my uncle. My uncle completely ignored Li Xia. The chubby security guard kicked me out of the car, and the other 2 guards dragged me up from the ground, shouting loudly, "Let our young master go, or we'll tear up the ticket." When my uncle saw this, he was clearly surprised. He frowned, but didn't say anything. My uncle put down his wine glass and stood up. "What's going on?" Li Xia looked at Chen Xiaoji and asked, "Was it you who beat up my brother like this? Didn't we agree last night that nothing would happen? What exactly are you trying to do?" "Sis, stop talking." Li Jia Hao stood up with his head lowered and said, "It's not their fault, it's mine. The 5 of us couldn't even beat him alone. I deserved it. If I hadn't heard it with my own ears." I could hardly believe this was real. The 4 people Li Jia Hao brought were clearly bigger in size, but they were all taken down by Chen Xiaoji, and he did it so thoroughly that even Li Jia Hao was convinced. Li Xia, feeling sorry for him, gently reached out to touch Li Jia Hao's swollen face and carefully asked, "Does it hurt?" Li Jia Hao first nodded, then shook his head and said, "It's fine. It's not the first time I've been beaten, but he's the first person to really make me admit defeat. This isn't their fault." Alright, enough. My uncle interrupted Li Jiahao and said, your sister really has a way with things. You actually dared to capture my nephew. Let's call it even for today. If you let my nephew go, I'll let you leave. As for today's little scuffle, we'll waive the appearance fee, but don't let there be a next time. The chubby security guard, trying to show off in front of Li Xia, rolled up his sleeves and said, President Li, they're way too arrogant. Let me go teach them a lesson. Li Xia shot the chubby security guard a glare, then looked at Li Jiahao and said, what exactly is your grudge? Can you just clear it up once and for all today? Stop making trouble, okay? You're not a kid anymore. When are you going to grow up? Before Ba Ling left, he asked me to take good care of you. Can't you show a little ambition? I have to take care of you and run the company all by myself. Do you think it's easy for me? As she spoke, Li Xia's eyes filled with tears of grievance. Seeing Li Xia cry, Li Jiahao panicked and pleaded, Sis, I know I was wrong. Please don't cry, okay? This is all my fault. I got beaten up last night and couldn't accept it. So today I called a few buddies to teach him a lesson. I didn't expect we'd be no match for him. 5 of us couldn't beat him alone. I won't cause you any more trouble in the future. Please don't cry, okay? At that moment I called out from the side. While you're catching up, can you untie me first? I'm still tied up here. You said we'd exchange hostages, but my second uncle didn't tie up your brother. Can't you keep your word and let me go first? Li Xia glanced at the chubby security guard. The chubby security guard hurried over to untie me. Li Xia, still worried about her brother, asked, why did you try to stop you last night? Stop pretending, will you? I shouted loudly. He tried to run me over with his car, then came to where I live to beat me up and smashed my phone. Don't tell me you didn't know about any of this. Hearing what I said, Li Xia was completely stunned. She stared at me for a full 3 seconds, then turned to look at Li Jiahao. Li Jiahao lowered his head and said, Sis, let me explain. He seemed a bit afraid to meet Li Xia's eyes and spoke in a low voice. That night, didn't you tell me you hit someone with your car and asked me to go get your ID card? I thought you'd been scammed and the other party was holding your ID to extort you. So I brought a few buddies to where he lived and took the ID back. I was also worried he had your phone number and might harass you. So before leaving, I smashed his phone. Then, Li Jiahao's voice grew quieter and quieter. That's how what happened last night came about. Li Xia was completely shocked. She looked at me, then at Li Jiahao, who was practically shrinking into his clothes. He looked really scared. Do you understand now? I looked at Li Xia and asked, if you didn't have time to listen to my explanation, then listen to your brothers. Do you get it now? You hit me with your car, then sent people to beat me up. Today, your lobby manager even slandered me as a thief. Now the delivery platform has revoked my courier qualifications, and I've even lost my job. This is all thanks to you. Did I ever provoke you? Why did you have to ruin me like this? I'm sorry. Li Xia's face turned bright red, and her tone softened as she apologized. I'll make it up to you. Thanks, but no need. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have some money. After saying that, I strode over to my second uncle, picked up a bottle of beer, tilted my head back and chugged it, then tossed the bottle aside. I said to my second uncle, didn't expect you to be such a good fighter. My second uncle replied dismissively, not bad, I guess. Then he stood up and said to Li Xia, Miss, I can see you're pretty reasonable, and it's always more pleasant to communicate with reasonable people. But it was you who hit someone with your car, and it was also your people who came to beat someone up and smash a phone. Now, it's also because of you that my nephew has even lost his job. You have to come up with a solution, right? We can't just swallow such a huge grievance for nothing, can we? Li Xia, her face flushed, asked, then how much do you want us to compensate you? My second uncle thought for a moment and said, forget it. If you just give him some money, he'll send it straight home for his dad's medical treatment. Why not give him a job instead? Li Xia said, no way, that's not possible. The two of us spoke almost at the same time. Li Xia glanced at me and said in a low voice, our company doesn't hire people with bad character. What's wrong with that? Chen Shaoji asked, how is my nephew bad? Li Xia blushed and said, he stole my food and gave me leftovers. I laughed and told my uncle, let's go, I can find other work. I then asked Li Xia and Li Jiahao, is this settled? No more trouble or locking me up? Li Xia turned redder. Li Jiahao shouted, don't worry, I give up. I really admire you, brother Jay. If you ever need anything, just say the word. My second uncle didn't respond, but Li Jiahao said to me, let's go, it's settled, I'll drive you back. I got into that old Santana and curiously asked, did you really take down all those people by yourself? Chen Shaoji shot back, what's so hard about that? Suddenly I didn't know what to say. My second uncle really did drive me back to the city. He asked me what my plans were from now on, if I was going to keep delivering food. I said my delivery rider account had been banned, so it's just as well to stop. I can find another job to support myself. As I was leaving, he repeated the same words, if I ever needed anything, just give him a call. After getting out of the car, I was suddenly hit by a sense of confusion I had never felt before. In the past, I was always up at dawn and working late into the night delivering food, hoping that one day life would be less hectic. Now that this day had finally come, I didn't know what to do next. I squatted down on the curb by the back gate of the Dianji Spring residential complex, looking at the city, so lonely and cold. Just then, a stray dog slowly walked over, circled around me once, and then sat down by my side. Two strangers sharing the same loneliness. Coincidentally, Lin Yifei would come by every day for this stray dog because of it. Lin Yifei and I cleared the air, and after talking, we bonded. The next day, I woke up at 7:30 and looked for my uniform, but then remembered my account was suspended, blocking any work. I also realized my scooter was still at the Katy International Hotel where I was caught. I quickly dressed, grabbed a cab, and headed straight there. Inside the security office at Katy International Hotel, I saw the same fat security guard from yesterday. He was on duty, and when I noticed him, he saw me too. Swinging his rubber baton, he asked, "What are you doing here again, kid? Looking for a beating?" I asked, rather unhappily. "Where's my scooter?" "What scooter?" The fat security guard waved his rubber baton, threatening me as he said, "There's no scooter here for you. Move along." "My electric scooter. Where is it? I parked it here yesterday. If someone stole it, pull up the surveillance footage for me." The fat security guard laughed and in a very disdainful tone asked, "You think you can just ask to check the surveillance footage at our international hotel and we'll do it for you? Think this is your home?" I wanted to slap him. The security guard mocked me. "The police won't even file a report for that junk scooter, yet you treat it like treasure." Before he finished, he suddenly stood at attention and saluted. Did someone important arrive? I turned and saw Li Xia's white Range Rover. She stopped and asked, "What are you doing here again?" I replied, annoyed. "You think I want to be here? My scooter's gone. I parked it here yesterday." The guard leaned over. "President Li, ignore him. He wants our surveillance for that junk. He thinks it's a big deal." "President Li, I'll handle this." Li Xia asked, "How? Do you even know where it is?" The guard grinned. "I heard city management hauled that scooter away yesterday." I was furious. "You saw them take it and said nothing. I was delivering food for you, and now I've lost my job on my scooter because you wouldn't help. Don't you have any decency?" The guard grinned gloatingly and sang, "Why should I help you?" Annoyed, Li Xia told him, "Swipe her into the elevator and bring her to my office," then drove to the parking lot. "No way." The guard stammered in confusion. "Did I hear right? President Li wants me to take you to her office?" Her office was on the 29th floor, marked General Manager. Surprisingly, young Li Xia was already the general manager in such a high position. Truly impressive. Li Xia's office is the most luxurious workspace I've ever seen. Li Xia personally made a cup of coffee for me, and as she handed it over she asked, "How much did your electric scooter cost?" For some reason, I suddenly felt like teasing Li Xia. Looking at her with a hint of disdain, I asked, "Is money all powerful in your eyes? Let me tell you, I've ridden that scooter for 3 years. Ever since I started delivering food, that scooter has been with me, through all kinds of ups and downs, and now, just because I delivered food to your company once, it's met its end. Does your conscience really feel okay about that?" Li Xia held her coffee, leaned back and asked, "You're acting like you're bonded to that scooter, but it's useless. I won't help you get it back from city management. Just tell me how much compensation you want." "Can you talk about anything but money?" Li Xia said arrogantly. "With someone like you, money is all I can discuss." "Is my character that bad?" I replied. "If not, would you have stolen that food delivery?" I was speechless. Li Xia checked her watch and said to me, "Stop wasting time. I have a meeting to attend soon. Just name your price. Whatever it is, I'll pay you." I don't know where my stubbornness came from, but I just wanted to argue with Li Xia. I raised my voice and said, "I don't want money. I just want my scooter." 5,000, is that enough?" I stayed silent. 8,000, is that enough? I still didn't say anything. "I'll give you 10,000. Li Xia raised her voice. "That should be enough, right?" I looked at Li Xia and asked, "Do you think I'm here to extort you? Do you really believe my character is that bad?" "Enough. If you don't want 20,000, then get out of my office right now. Don't ever show up again." I raised my hand and pointed. Li Xia pointed at me as she backed away, angrily throwing out, "You really live a pathetic life. In your eyes, all that matters is money. How could you possibly understand the pain of losing a companion? Talking about feelings with you is just a waste of my emotions. Go ahead and hold on to your money and live your life. Goodbye." With that, I turned and walked out. "Wait a minute," Li Xia called out from behind me, threatening. "Don't regret this. I'll give you one more chance. 20,000 in compensation." "No need." After saying that, I walked out. Li Xia called after me. "Fine, consider it as me owing you a favor. If you ever need my help, as long as it doesn't go against my principles, I'll make sure to repay what I owe you. Remember my number, except for anything related to Katie International Hotel." I really wanted to slap myself right then. I was putting on way too much of an act. 20,000 when? Why didn't I take it? Why did I have to act all high and mighty with this rich lady? I really did a perfect job pretending, but the price of that perfection was losing out on 20,000 yuan. How am I supposed to comfort myself? Well, at least I got Li Xia's phone number again. That's the only way I can console myself. As I walked back, I absent-mindedly scrolled through my moments feed, and unexpectedly saw that Liu Jun had posted an update. It turns out today is his birthday. Liu Jun was my high school classmate. Back in high school, Liu Jun and I were very close. There were already few boys in the liberal arts class, and since seats were assigned by grades, both of us always sat in the front row. In every exam, Liu Jun and I were always among the top scorers. The top spot in the class was always either me or Liu Jun. After graduating from high school, Liu Jun scored 590 points and got into Union University. I scored over 600, but chose to give up on college. My family simply couldn't afford the extra money for me to go to school, and with my father's kidney disease constantly needing money for treatment, I also wanted to start working early to help support the family. 4 years ago, Liu Jun came to Kunming for university, and I came to Kunming to work. When we first arrived, we often hung out together. Later, because our social circles were different, we didn't keep in touch as much as we did at the beginning, but the bond between us was still there. When I saw Liu Jun post this status, I replied underneath, "Happy birthday, buddy." Liu Jun quickly sent me a WeChat message. "Chen Fan, are you free tonight? Can you come to my birthday party? We haven't seen each other for almost half a year, right?" I replied, "It's been more than half a year. You're about to graduate too, aren't you?" He said that he's already allowed to leave campus now and is looking for an internship. I asked him if he had any good prospects. He replied, "I majored in business administration at university and have already turned down offers from some companies. I want to find a hotel job in hotel management. If you're free tonight, come over. Let's catch up in person on Dianchi Road. Remember to bring your girlfriend so your buddy can see if you're doing well." If I had been able to go to university 4 years ago, then today I could also chat with friends and talk about things so casually. I want to find a job in hotel management. Some people can choose their own lives, while others are destined only to be chosen. A girlfriend? Where am I supposed to find a girlfriend? At that moment, I suddenly thought of Li Xia. Didn't she promise me something?